Previously.
The day has come. The day has come. I mean, I have no words. I mean, look at this and tell me that doesn't make you incredibly happy. It's very simple, but it works and it looks pretty cool for the skylight. Grab some of this stuff. So, well, that I guess is the interior for Wayne Tower. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this brand new episode of Building Benny's Movie Park 3. Today, we're going to add your ideas to this park. Over the past few episodes, you guys have given me plenty of cool stuff to add. So today, let's do it. Let's get to it. Let's do it. Okay. The first one is a very obvious one, and for this, let's not overthink it. The lights that we have here somehow work really well. They kind of have that gothic design, so well, I suggest we just use them here as well. What I will do, however, is repaint them in this very nice dark brown color, and then, well, let's kind of go ahead and spread these around. By the way, one thing I am pretty surprised about is after playing Planet Coaster, I'm not really struggling with the controls. I guess somehow my brain just really registers this as a completely different thing, because I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared of that happening. But anyway, does this not look bloody lovely? We're just gonna spread these all over and then we'll be done with it. This does do so much for the vibes. I love it. I also suggest we use this same bench. However, once again, I'll make sure it looks a bit more like the Gotham color scheme. And then, well, you guessed it, the same thing. Again, look, and these are like the perfect spots for benches. Yes, let's remove the lights here because this is too perfect. We'll just push those back a little bit like that. And there you go. That is lovely. And now that we're busy anyway, let's also put a few over here just so we got the whole set. And I'd hate to repeat myself, but guess what? Trash cans as well. There. Beautiful. See, that's already much better. Now on to the next idea. This one got pointed out pretty early on. The Batcave, of course, doesn't have any bats currently, which is very sad. And then I realized there might be a way. Because look, if you grab a smoke emitter and you go into the settings, you can actually change the image. And I just so happened to have made an image with bats. And look, if my calculations are correct, there you go! Now, we do have to play around with the emitter power because there's a lot of bats. However, it just determines how high they go. It looks really cool though. So look, say we grab this and we put it somewhere here. Yeah, let's just go and try putting one right there and then see what happens. So you can barely see it, but it's kind of cool too. And of course, you can also just play around with the item mode. Let's say toggle, and then off time is gonna be 3 seconds. So then, just like this, every now and then, a few bats fly out. That is incredible. Okay, so let's go ahead and put one right in between this little area. I think that can work just beautifully. So let's see, every now and then, some bats just fly up. Is this not insane? Take notes, Planet Coaster. I'll put a few of these down over here and then see what that looks like. Dude, but I already know, like, that looks so cool. And what if we even put one outside? Like, somewhere here. So you can see that from the road down there. Look, just like this. Yeah, that's great, actually. You should make the off time quite long, though, so it's really just every now and then a spurt of bats. Here you go. So there's a few, then another few. Yeah, that's a pretty funny little detail. Well, then the Batcave is looking a bit better now. Next is yet another very crucial one, the Batmobile. Now, this is gonna be a bit of a stinker. I'm definitely gonna go with the version from the animated series. It just looks so nice and classic. But then also, it has a shape that is relatively easy to do compared to the others. So, well, let me just go ahead and see what I can do. Now, this whole thing needs to be nice and black. Gonna need some very nice wheels. This feature I miss the absolute most in Planet Coaster, being able to just pick an object for the axes. That is so insanely useful. Actually, such a weirdly rectangular car. Dude, I feel like this might not even turn out so bad. Definitely need the kind of little exhaust thingies. Very iconic. This is a bit of a hassle, but bear with me, guys. I think this might work. It is getting shape. Just finalizing the backside over here, and then we should be good. And there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Batmobile. I especially love this part. It turned out really similar. And then the back also looks pretty cool. It's not crazy detailed, but it's fine. It's good enough. The only thing is, where are we gonna put it? Maybe like here, kind of halfway onto the road, or maybe just like this instead, just parked up on the side of the road here. Yeah, that's definitely better. I do like that. So, well, that then I guess is the Batmobile. On to the next idea. Gotham City isn't complete without Batman looking over it from a rooftop, so let's do that. That is kind of why I have this particular skin. Let's go and climb up the highest peak all the way here and place it down. And this is actually just the perfect spot for it. There you go. The Dark Knight. This is the 1989 suit of Batman, which I think looks really cool. The black is nice. Then as for the bat signal, that's gonna be a stinker. This person also mentioned that in his ideas, but unfortunately that isn't something you can do in this game. Spotlights just don't work that way, sadly. I did try an image panel in the sky, but it looked hideous, so unfortunately that is simply not going to be possible. What is possible, however, is the next idea: bat suits in the Batcave. I think I actually mentioned this myself earlier in this series, but definitely a good idea. And I thought a nice way to do it is by adding just a platform over here, just about 3 squares long, again with these supports underneath. There you go. And then I thought on this platform over here, we just put 3 in a row with, of course, these really cool looking chambers around. And another one right here, just all of these 3 being covered. And then all I gotta do is make sure these are all different ones. Look, here we have the animated series Batman. Only thing is I constantly have to walk all the way back into the cave. Then I simply remove one of them, and there you go. Then the last one, and this is then the Dark Knight Rises suit. Also nice to have, just to make sure we've got a bunch of nice references in here. There you go. I feel like I say there you go an excessive amount this episode. I really like that though. Look at that. Yeah, that's for sure a nice addition. Next, we have what I think is a really original idea, one that I haven't seen before, a comic book stall somewhere in Gotham. I'm thinking like a separate little pop-up store, kind of. Possibly right here, actually. I'll begin with the base. This seems good. And on the corners, a few poles to kind of keep the structure up. And then in the center, this is where there's going to be a bunch of comic books stacked on top of each other. Just have to go and paint all these tiny little books I added. And then I'll just do poof and poof. And there you go. And we'll finish this off with a nice roof that has fancy stuff to it. I can try this, for example. I don't know why, but with DC, I also associate yellow and blue. So let's make this yellow and blue. Some light would be nice because it's pretty dark in here. And to finish that off really beautifully, you already know what I'm gonna do. Just gotta spell out DC Comics and pray that it fits. But I think that fits. That fits perfectly. I didn't even need to scale it. Okay, that's insane. Just gotta make this the right color, and then we genuinely should be good. Here you go. There is the DC Comics store. That does, however, need an operator, which we're gonna replace later with a better one. Now it's just gonna be 2 Batmen that sell you some comics. Oh, and of course a computer, because you have to pay somehow. I keep saying, oh, it's done, and then I add something else. Here you go. Now it's actually done, though. Or is it? Yeah, it is. On to the next idea. Bane is actually one of the few villains I know pretty much nothing about, but I do like this idea. So I'm just gonna pray this is accurate, and I'm not gonna be looking like an idiot right now. Anyway, this is the opened... Oh, that looks really nice in general. But then I'm gonna grab a smoke emitter. Like I said, I know nothing about Bane, so I don't know why this is supposed to be light blue. So let's see what happens when I put this just underneath the manhole. I'm not sure about the blue, it looks a bit weird, but if it's accurate, then we should keep it. I'm gonna Google this, wait a minute. So I must be stupid, but I cannot find anything relating to blue smoke and Bane. So I'm just gonna make it a regular smoke, because I do like the idea of this. It looks pretty cool. But, well, then on to the next idea, which is very cool. It is something that perfectly fills up the kind of boring space in Arkham Asylum, because this made me think of something extra. What if we go ahead and add some decals for characters in each prison cell? For the Joker, this could be the ha 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 sign, which I have, of course, prepared for you guys. Look at that. Perfect. And I even made a few versions just to make sure they're not all the same, like that. And a very small one in the corner here. Perfect. Final one on the side of the wall. Wait for it. Bam. So this is then the Joker's cell. Then next we could do Poison Ivy. And you get one guess what I'm gonna use for that. Do you reckon it could be Ivy? All of this shouldn't be too obvious, it's just for like a very subtle reference. Here you go, just subtle. Then the next one, I also have an idea for this, and that is the Riddler. Oh, that's very dark, actually. But it is nice. Just some green question marks. Then for the scarecrow, I thought maybe we can add some green smoke, some poison, or red. Is it red? That is then, of course, the fear toxin. Here you go. Let's just do 2, 1 here as well. And then finally, for clay face, I thought we can just add some clay, kind of. Or at least that was my idea. Just by using these rounded rocks for a change. Here you go. Just a bunch of this stuff lying on the floor. Just really nice, subtle references. So from the start, you have the Joker, Poison Ivy, the Riddler, Scarecrow, and Clayface. Yeah, pretty cool. For the name of Arkham Asylum, it's almost a crime not to call it Arkham Asylum Escape for the sheer reason of the amount of times you guys commented that. I must have seen that a million times, specifically with the idea to just add a small sign underneath Arkham Asylum. So I'd be an idiot not to do that because simply every soul imaginable wants that. And really, let's just not overthink it. Let's be simple about it. We'll just put a few planks like that and a little bit of rope to attach it to the fence. Now this does make me miss Planet Coaster, but all of that is genuinely just in the game. So well, then quickly, let's hop onto Photoshop.
Opening Photoshop.
Escape. And for this, I really only see one option, and that is like a stencil font like this, because that is definitely a nice association with prisons and the military. So, and I'm thinking we go with red because that's cool. I mean, it is insanely basic, but I do think it will work. And then once again, also we need the information sign, and I'm just gonna use the screenshot from the game for that. Getting rid of the green. Just have to kind of make this work somehow. A texture would definitely help for this. It does have to be super nice and dark. ChatGPT once again cooked something incredible. Read that. Pause it though, I'm not gonna wait. And then this should be fine. Let's try it out. We'll smack our brand new image inside this panel and see what happens. That does look quite nice. Then the information sign, same thing over here. And then a simple plate on the back and the bottom to support it. Well, that is then Arkham Asylum Escape. The thing is though, I'm still not entirely sure about the color of the tower. As much as I like the look, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, I fear. Red and white might make more sense because then it could be like TNT, which they use to burst through the roof. Really? I'll just keep it like this, whatever. We can always change it later in just a few clicks. And the last idea from you guys for today is the Wayne Tower name. And I personally thought DC Delicacies was really funny. And so I don't repeat myself constantly, I'll just cook something up real quick, something nice and basic, and I'll be right back with you. For one last time today, there you go. Wayne Tower DC Delicacies, absolutely lovely. Then, I think that's the last one. And with that, apart from, of course, the outside areas of it, DC Land? Gotham City is finished. It has taken quite a second, but I mean, yeah, here we are. Some things that aren't done yet are the supports for this piece of the track. The same goes for this section, and just basically the whole back area isn't looking that great, but that is all gonna depend on what's gonna be behind it. Maybe there's gonna be nothing behind it. Maybe by the time that's finished, we are already done with the data limit. At that point, I would just add some filler buildings and kind of seal up the back. But until I know that, we're just gonna keep it like this. That does, however, mean that in the next episode, we can finally start doing other things. And those other things are going to be a Spider-Man roller coaster. The setting for that will be New York, so once again a city, but very different. Much more in the style of these buildings. And also, they're really gonna be blocks of buildings, which is much easier to build. And then a big roller coaster in between. We're gonna do some stuff with the Green Goblin, Doc Ock maybe as well. The Daily Bugle obviously is a must, so really cool stuff. For today, however, that is it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell not to miss a single future video, and then I hope I'll see you in the next episode of Building Benny's Movie Park 3.